Hey folks, and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel. Sitting next to me today is the Land Rover Defender, but as you see it, this package is brand new for 2024. This is the Defender 110 County Edition, fit with a 5-liter supercharged V8, and we're gonna go for a drive and tell you how it handles. Let's kick it off with the walk around. So powering our County Edition, like I said, is a 5-liter supercharged V8 making 493 horsepower and 461 pound-feet of torque, sent through an 8-speed automatic. For 2024, this County Edition, as you see it, is new. Now, County Edition is all about styling. You're getting those color lines down the side, you're getting the County Edition badges, and then you're getting the uniquely colored roof and rear door, which is pretty interesting. And then the fact that they've added in the V8 to this package just means that yes, you can get the biggest power plant with the most style. So why don't you just take a break right now, go in the comments, and let me know what you think about the way this County Edition looks. Let's take a look at the back end of this 110 now. So there is an optional third row you can get in the Defender 110. We don't have it. And then if you do want more space, there's also the larger Defender 130. So I like to start by pointing out the child seat situation. We have 2 lower latch positions here, and I can take a peek. We do have top tethers on all 3 positions across the back, which is nice. One other little trick I want to show you, these fold forward so that these can come down. And of course, I didn't get this ready beforehand, so I can do that now. And you can get a nice fold flat or mostly flat floor all the way to the back. So when it comes to utility, the Defender definitely has that in mind. So now I can go ahead and fold those back up, put those back, and climb in. So on paper, this is just over 36 inches of legroom, and it's actually a ton. What I like even more than that, a lot of headroom here, just because of the design of the Defender. I have lots of space up here, and I stand at 6'2", which is nice. And then yeah, knee room, no problem. My legs aren't too high. This is absolutely a good enough second row for a full-size or larger than full-size adult. And then down in the middle, I do have my HVAC controls. I have 2 USB ports right there, USB-A, and you have some HVAC vents. And then I would be remiss if I didn't point out the Safari windows. Yes, even back here in the second row, I can peek up there. And although here in Canada, I won't be seeing any giraffes, I can always dream, right? So I love that they have those, and that's just another callback to Land Rover heritage. Now let's go in the back and look at the storage. So you get the classic swing gate here on the Defender. Open it up, and this is 35 cubic feet of space, which is actually pretty decent. Now this luggage cover is just bungeed on here. It doesn't roll up like a lot of them do today. So I'll just kind of move it out of the way for you there. But you can see a ton of cargo space, and this is a hard plastic floor or some type of plastic material, so that should be easy to wash. And I just like the fact that it's hard. It should take a beating too and not really show anything because of it. Besides that, you're getting a couple D-rings down in the floor so you can tie things down back here. You're getting a 12 volt, but you're also getting a proper 3-prong plug right there. It's only 180 watts, but still nice to have power. And then one last kind of unique feature at the back of the Defender, you have air suspension on your Defender, but at the rear end, there's a couple buttons here that allow me to just raise the back. There it's going up. And this is just the rear end. And now if I'm honest, I can't really think of a reason why I'd want to bring the back end up really tall. But what I can tell you is you can also dump the airbags, and this makes a lot of sense. So why do I say that? Well, if I'm loading heavy things into my Defender, I've now just dropped my load in height by a significant amount. So if I'm lifting up and coming in here, it's actually that much easier. And once again, that's kind of a neat feature with an eye towards utility. And then the other thing I can think of where you might be using that is in hooking up a trailer. Drop your rear end down, back up underneath, lift your rear end up, and you know what? In theory, you never have to crank your trailer down again. So that's a cool feature that's back here on the Defender.
Hey everybody, listen, you've heard us talk about the Giddy Ups here on the Truck King channel. So this is a new set that I've got in my truck. Now these, unlike the synthetic simple ones that we sold out of last summer, are handmade, all leather, hand stitched. These are unique, these are one of a kind, all made by John out there in Alberta, Canada. And if you're interested in these for your truck, all you have to do is reach out to us at hey@truckking.ca. That's H-E-Y at truckking.ca. We'll send you photos, prices, and delivery information. Do that soon.
So before we take off here in the Defender, let's see the cameras. So there's our standard reverse cameras. What's cool about the Defender, Dad, is you can see this neat 3D Defender, and you can actually look all the way around it, so you can start rolling back here, just so you can kind of see it move. But it's pretty neat, right, to give you a good sense for where your vehicle is. Look, you're getting a little too close on this side. Take a look over here. Too close over there.
That is actually pretty neat.
It's pretty cool. Now, the other view I like is there is an off-road view here. Oh, this one you have to be going forward. So go ahead and put it in drive.
Well, that's reverse right now.
Yeah. So here it is here. So if you hit this button and you drive forward, just like Toyota products do now, this will also show you underneath the hood or underneath the bonnet. And what's really interesting is it says right there, not live. So what it's telling you is it's taking a picture of what's in front of the vehicle and then superimposing your vehicle on it. But I like these views. I think for off-roading, they're actually legitimately helpful. That's kind of a cool view too, down the sides and out the front. And then the towing view, of course, straight out the back, and you get a hitch hookup line there too to actually help you hook up your trailer. So yeah, pretty nice suite of cameras here on the Defender. All right, folks, here we are in this Defender with the V8. So, Dad, let's feel it. Not bad. Not insanely powerful, but it really does sound nice, and it's that really classic linear V8
Yeah,
power.
you could really feel it kind of building up like that. It wasn't, it didn't sort of come on at a certain RPM.
Yeah, but again, these days, just in a world of, small displacement turbos, it does sound really nice.
Yep, it's got a much nicer sound than some of the current whiny engines.
Sure, and it's actually kind of cool that, oh yeah.
I think though, partly, I think this exhaust is tuned
I'm sure it's part of it.
specifically to make it sound like that as well.
Yeah, I'm sure you are correct, because it just has that deep kind of throaty sound to it, which is exactly one of the reasons why I think you still opt for a V8. And I think we have to actually give Land Rover a little bit of credit for having a V8 in the lineup. These days, with these sort of high-tech Land Rovers and Range Rovers that we have, it wouldn't be at all surprising, in my head anyways, to see them drop a V8 and just go to small displacement turbo, but it hasn't happened yet, so kudos.
I think from a marketing standpoint, one, there are still lots of guys who want a V8. Two, if you're willing to drop the kind of money that this thing costs, you don't care that it's a V8. So, and honestly, for them, it's easier to keep what they already have than design a new engine.
Sure, yeah, that is fair as well. So outside of the engine, what else do you notice from behind the wheel? And I'll just drop kind of one note on you. Every time I'm in a Defender, it's reminiscent of a Wrangler or other off-road vehicles in so much that you have this tall seating position. I feel like the sight lines are really good, and you can actually kind of see down to your fender. So I just really believe that the person who set up the ergonomics of this vehicle was thinking a little bit, at least, about off-roading. That's where I always come at it from. But what do you think about the way it drives and sort of the seating position?
The seating position helps you to also get the sense that, the cabin tends to be a little bit narrower, and you've got the drop off from the nose, and yeah, so your sight lines are excellent, and it just feels tall.
It does. Loads of headroom, which is nice.
Also a product, of the tires that they put on this thing, and then the air suspension, which of course gives you the lift. And that is probably the single best thing about these, is that you can get that lift when you're off-road.
Yeah.
When you're in that situation where you need the extra clearance based on wherever the heck you are.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course it is good in all situations, but I'll actually say in the snow, it's particularly important. You never want your bumper plowing, and that's something you might actually use on road where we live here in Canada, because when the snow gets that deep, yeah, it's nice to be able to get up out of it. So, love the air suspension.
Yeah, no, it's a really good feature.
And while we're talking about air suspension, I'll just kind of go on about some of the other off-road features because there's loads of them. We do have a low range, so there is a transfer case here, which is nice. We do have all kinds of off-road driving modes. We're actually in dynamic mode right now, but you have eco, you have comfort, grass, gravel, and snow, mud and ruts, sand mode, rock crawl, wade sensing, and then a configurable off-road mode. And I don't know if you caught that last one, Dad, but it's one of the coolest. Wade sensing. You can actually drive into the water here in the Defender, and it shows you exactly how deep the water is on your vehicle, and then there's a little red line which is like, hey, don't go deeper than this. So you know what, call it a gimmick if you want, but Land Rover, because they're so steeped in off-road heritage, they definitely sat around and said, what can we do to really set this thing apart in that off-road arena? And I think the technology is a big part of that.
You know, it's great. It's lovely to see. I always get a kick because there's actually a little water table that runs along the side of the unit, and then it has that don't go deeper than this, which of course is silly because you don't know you're going to go deeper than that till you've actually gone deeper.
Till it's too late. Yeah, that's
so. But in the meantime, yeah, you can show it off to people and say, I can go this deep.
Another feature I like, which, you know, it comes on when you go into the off-road modes, but it's not about off-roading. Land Rover calls it the low traction launch. And as it sounds, if you're on mud or if you're in the snow and you put your foot into it, it's going to manage the power so you get this super smooth takeoff. And again, I'm speaking very regionally here, but in a place that gets snow, that's something that I could see leaving on for most of the winter, because it just means that even if you really put your foot into it, the thing's never going to get squirrely. It's never going to do something you don't want it to do. You're always going to get that predictable takeoff. So that's another feature I like, is the low traction launch.
So, Steve, comes the question, who buys a Defender?
And that is a good question. So I think the first part of that puzzle is this Defender, as it sits, as you see it in the video, the County Edition with the V8, here in Canada is $116,000. So we are firmly into luxury SUV territory. Mm-hmm. Now, the first thing I'll say that I think that sets the Defender apart is the eye towards off-roading. I'm not going to call it a hardcore off-roader, but more so than some of the other SUVs in this category, it's going to have off-road chops. But the most important thing, in my view, that draws people to a Defender in North America, it's different. It's not like anything else on the market. It's not like anything that the Americans build. It's not like anything that the Germans build. So truthfully, if you're in this snack bracket, if you're looking at this price point, that's, I think, why you end up going Defender. It has a bit of that ruggedness, but most importantly, it's nothing like the Audi Q5 in your neighbor's driveway. That's what it comes down to for me.
I think you nailed it. This has got that, it's different cachet, and yeah, I'm driving a Land Rover.
Yeah, and then the heritage of the brand, right? You know, and maybe you are British. If you have those roots, you might feel more attached to it, but Land Rover has such a rich heritage, like Jeep, steeped in the, World War II kind of imagery. That might suck you in a little bit as well.
Well, big following in the Indian community now, too, considering they own it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So, yeah, I think that's the Land Rover brand means something a little bit different than just, say, a Chevrolet.
Yeah, so you've got a competent off-roader. It's reasonably luxurious. Not as much as maybe some others, really, at that price point.
Fair.
However, yeah, for this one here, it's about brand recognition.
Yep. Well, folks, we are coming to the end of this one. So I truly do think the verdict on this Defender, if you want a luxury SUV that's pretty dang good off-road and is not like pretty much anything else on the road here in North America, you definitely want to come over here and take a look at the Defender. Plus, the fact that it still offers a V8, well, that's great news. Now, of course, I need to hear your opinion, though, so please go below into the comments. Let me know what you think of this Defender County Edition. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we're testing next. See ya.